In this video, I'm going to share 10 reasons why the X32 and M32 family of mixers is the best choice for most church sound systems. I've worked with these mixers for over 6 years now, so this review comes with a lot of practical experience using these tools for worship ministry. By the end of this video, you'll have a firm grasp on the benefits of upgrading to one of these mixers, and you'll know whether or not you should buy one for your church. This video is brought to you by Lead Worship with ABLETON, a free training to help you get started with the #1 worship leading software. With ABLETON Live, you can run a click, backing tracks, and automate lyrics and lighting. It's the best tool for increasing excellence and eliminating distracting mistakes in worship. Click the link in the description to enroll in the free training today. My name is Jake Goslin with churchfront.com, an online resource for creative and innovative church leaders. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you can receive all of our latest content to help you grow yourself and grow your church. The mixing console is the foundation of any church sound system. Of course, you need a robust speaker system, monitoring, and cabling, but the mixer is an integral part of pulling all these tools together and creating an acoustically pleasing experience in worship. There are a lot of great sound consoles available. I highly recommend you continue to research other makes and models yourself after watching this video. PreSonus, Allen & Heath, Soundcraft, and Yamaha all make comparable digital mixers in the sub $5,000 range that you need to check out. However, in this video, I'm going to unpack why I believe the Behringer and Midas family of digital mixers is the best choice for most churches. Not only do I have extensive personal experience with these sound consoles over the past 6 years, but they've also been on the market long enough to prove themselves as the best choice for a lot of churches. You may be wondering why I am referring to Behringer and Midas as the same family of consoles. It's because Music Group owns both brands. Historically speaking, Behringer has a reputation for low price and low quality gear, while Midas has a reputation for high priced, high quality gear. A few years after Music Group acquired Midas, they began combining forces of the low price point of Behringer with the quality of Midas. In 2012, they released the X32 series of mixers under the Behringer brand. And in 2014, they released the M32 series of mixers under the Midas brand. X32 and M32 mixers are practically the same. They both run the same software and user interface. The primary difference is in the hardware. The Midas boards have better faders, preamps, and overall they just look cooler. Think of it this way. Midas is like Cadillac and the X32 is like Chevy. They both get the job done, but if you have the money, you won't regret owning the Cadillac. If your church can't afford it, purchase the Midas board. It will sound a little bit better and the hardware will most likely last longer. But if you can't afford the M32, the X32 will do just fine. I hope that gives you a little context and understanding of how these two brands are part of the same family of digital mixers. Now I want to unpack the 10 reasons why I believe these mixers are the best choice for most churches. Reason number 1, it's all digital. Many churches have yet to transition from analog mixers to a digital one. Up until 6 years ago, finding a high-quality digital mixer at an affordable price was difficult. Since then, Behringer, Midas, and other brands already mentioned here have released a ton of affordable digital mixers that are great for churches. Going digital has multiple benefits. All effects and signal processing is built into the board. You can apply EQ, compression, noise gates, reverb, delay, and a bunch of other effects to any voice or instrument going into your mixer. Going digital will also help you reduce the amount of gear clutter in your worship space and sound booth. Motorized faders allow the board to take up a smaller footprint because you can scroll through the pages of channels. You can save different scenes to your soundboard, so once you've dialed in a mix, you don't need to worry about someone coming by the board and adjusting the knobs and faders and messing it up because it's saved to the board. Going digital with your mixer is just as powerful as going digital with your phone. Remember life without smartphones? Sure, you could get the job done with flip phones, but you can accomplish a whole lot more with a supercomputer in your pocket. Digital mixers bring that same transformation to your sound system. Reason number 2, the ecosystem. We are all familiar with the power of ecosystems in tech these days, and the most infamous one is Apple's ecosystem. All of their devices are designed to work with one another, whether you use a Mac, iPad, iPhone, or iWatch. It works the same way with digital mixers. When you buy a digital mixer, not only are you buying into the console, but you're also buying into an ecosystem of compatible consoles, digital snakes, and in-ear monitoring. One of the best features of the X32 and M32 family of mixers is their compatibility. For example, if you want the affordability of the X32 console but the quality sound of the M32 preamps, you can use the Midas Stage Snake with the X32 console. All these pieces of hardware route together with Ethernet cables, and you can instantly start configuring them for your situation. The other benefit of this ecosystem is that it has the same user experience on all of the mixers. If you know how to use an X32, you'll know how to use an M32. In one church I served at, we had an M32 in our large worship space, and we used the X32 rack in our smaller worship space where the youth ministry met. Despite the mixers being different and looking a lot different, our volunteer sound techs could run both of them once they learned how to run one of them. Reason number 3, ease of use. Ease of use is where I think the X32 and M32 mixers beat many of their competitors. The layout of their board is incredibly intuitive to navigate and get work done. In a church environment, it's essential to have a mixer that I, as the worship leader, can easily understand how to use, but also needs to be easy for my volunteers to learn. The X32 and M32 board accomplishes both of these. I know this is subjective, but I've poked around a lot of other digital boards, and in my opinion, this family of mixers is probably the only one you could just give me without an instruction manual, and I'd be able to figure it out intuitively within a few minutes. Reason number 4, compatibility with analog sound systems. Since many churches are still making the transition from analog to digital, the X32 mixers are an excellent choice because you can swap it out with your analog sound console and get it up and running in a matter of minutes. There's no need to immediately upgrade to an analog snake because the analog inputs are already built into the back of the board. A lot of higher end digital mixers don't have any analog inputs because they expect the end user to have all digital routing. Reason number 5, expandability. A lot of churches may be in a current situation where due to current budget constraints and potential future growth, they need the ability to start small and expand when the opportunity arises. For example, you could purchase the X32 Compact, which only has 16 inputs and 8 outputs built into the mixer. Maybe that works fine for your needs right now, but what do you do when your worship ministry grows and you need more inputs and outputs? You can purchase the compatible digital snake to double your capacity and have a full 32 channels of inputs and 16 outputs. Reason number 6, Wi-Fi remote control. The X32 and M32 mixers come with compatible apps for Wi-Fi remote control on an iOS device. You don't need the latest and fanciest iPad. You can buy a used one for a few $100s and it can be your dedicated remote for your mixer. I love this feature because it allows my sound tech to walk around the room as they mix. You can also bring mixing control on stage when you troubleshoot any issues with your gear. Your musicians can download the M32Q app to control their in-ear monitor mixes. No more yelling to the sound tech to turn things up or down. Your musicians can adjust their mixes in real time. Speaking of monitor mixes, reason number 7, in-ear monitoring. In-ear monitoring is becoming increasingly crucial for worship ministries as more bands begin using a click in tracks in worship. In-ears are also a great way to reduce stage volume and improve the overall front of house mix. With the X32 and M32, there are multiple ways to set up in-ear monitors. You can use a headphone amp with headphone extension cables. That's the cheapest setup, and we use it at my church for all of our musicians except for the worship leaders. Next, you could use the P16 personal mixers. While these are reasonably priced and easy to install, they're not my favorite option because I don't really prefer having another piece of hardware to mix my in-ears. I would rather use the app on my phone. The third way to set up monitors is to use a wireless system. It's the most expensive option, but it's fantastic because it requires less cabling and allows your musicians to move about the stage freely. We use wireless in-ears for our worship leaders. While it is possible to set up in-ear monitoring with an analog soundboard, you'll find significant limitations in that type of situations. Those limitations mostly have to do with the amount of unique outputs you can send from your sound console. The X32 and M32 have up to 16 unique outputs, and usually 2 of those are used for your main left and right mixes for your PA system, but that still means you have 14 mix bus outputs that are left to send 14 unique mixes to your musicians on stage. With in-ear monitoring, it's best that everybody can have their own unique mix so they can hear what they need. So on analog boards, you're often limited to 4 or 6 auxiliary outputs, which is fine if you have a 4 or 6 member band. But if you have more people than that, a digital board like the X32 and M32 will give you many more unique mixes. So no matter what route you go with in-ear monitoring, whether it's headphone amp, wireless, or personal mixers, the X32 or M32 will make it exponentially easier to make the transition. Reason number 8, recording audio to a USB thumb drive. Recording sermon audio is easier than ever using the USB thumb drive on the X32 and M32 mixers. In our workflow, we simply plug in the drive, we hit record at the beginning of the service, it records the whole service. At the end, we hit stop, then we unplug the drive, we put it into computer, we edit it, we upload it to our podcast, and there you go. We have sermon audio. Reason number 9, multi-track recording. If you wanted to record your worship service with the ability to mix down audio tracks in post-production, you could easily record a multi-track section to your favorite digital audio workstation. I know churches that have done this to record a worship album at their church, or other churches just want to record multi-tracks so they can create their own backing tracks for future use. All you need to do is plug in your laptop to the USB port, open up Logic, Pro Tools, or Ableton, and you'll see the X32 or M32 will show up as an option to route audio to and from your computer. The other cool feature about multi-track recording with this board is you can play those audio files back through the individual channels on the board for a virtual sound check. So your sound guy or gal can do a sound check without the band being present. Reason number 10, price. I just listed off a ton of neat features about the X32 and M32 digital mixers, but what makes all these things more exciting is the price point. Buying one of these mixers ranges from as low as $999 for the X32 rack and as high as $3,999 for the full M32 console. Then you have a bunch of options in between. Our church went with the mid-range price option of the Midas M32R. We wanted the hardware quality of the Midas board with a compact size, knowing that we could just put a 32-channel Stage Snake on the stage. The Stage Snake we chose was the S32. Unfortunately, that means we're not using the Midas preamps for our stage instruments, but honestly, 99% of people won't be able to tell the difference. The other reason we went with the M32R is the portability. We would have loved the full-size Midas M32R, but having the board half the size makes it really easy for a setup teardown church. In the end, you can easily have a digital soundboard and snake for just a few $1,000s. 10 years ago, this would have cost you more than $10,000. If you have an analog mixer, you will not regret switching over to the X32 or M32 mixing consoles. I've included links to these mixers below in the show notes, so check them out yourself. I also included a link to my worship ministry toolkit. It's my complete list of recommended gear for worship ministry, and I have an entire page dedicated to selecting the right version of the X32 or M32 board for your church. All the pricing is there as well to help you out with budgeting. When you do purchase the X32 or M32, I highly recommend you check out a course by my friend Cade Young at Collaborate Worship. He walks you through how to get up and running with the X32 or M32 in the shortest amount of time possible. I've included a link to this course below in the show notes. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, hit the thumbs up button and share it with your friends in ministry. You can watch related videos right over here. Don't forget to subscribe to the Churchfront channel and hit the notification bell so you can continue to receive our latest content to help you grow yourself and grow your church.